The winter sell-off continues. People are beginning to run out of money, and grocery store shelves are emptying. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. Joe Werber coming at you. It's continuing. The winter sell-off is happening as we speak. We can see that the NASDAQ is down almost 5% for the year. The S&P 500 and the Dow are down between 1 and 2%. This happens. Look, we had a great year last year. All the indices were up over 20%. We had over 20% gains a year before. People are going to take a chance, take time to take profits. This is normal. Things are still looking good. This is, again, not a time to panic. We're beginning to see a shift from growth over to value. Now, this occurred back in the fourth quarter of 2020. It was beginning to take shape more in the first quarter of 2021. Then we saw a shift back to growth. Now we're seeing that shift back to value. I'm happy about that. That's good news for us heading into 2022. However, people are beginning to run out of money, and there's multiple reasons for that. And the number one reason is the bailouts have stopped. The stimulus checks aren't coming in. The extra money for unemployment isn't there. And while unemployment is almost back to pre-pandemic levels, we are still seeing people quitting their jobs en masse. And you know what? That money's not going to last forever. So we should see over the next few quarters, unemployment continue to fall, people not quitting at great speeds unless they are actually moving to higher paying jobs. And we are seeing savings rates decline across the country. Now, we had seen unbelievable savings rates during the pandemic, which it made sense. There were a lot of bailouts and people weren't spending money. And those savings rates have declined. They're back to about 7.3%, what we were pre-pandemic, and they may continue to fall. See, when people are just given money, it's handled differently than if they earned that money. So unfortunately, a lot of these bailouts have been spent or invested. People may not have as much in reserves. And as inflation continues to grow throughout this year, we could see some issues with people not having disposable income. A month ago, about 50% of people surveyed said they had no problem meeting their bills. This past survey, that had fallen to 36% of people. So that means around 60+% of people are having issues making ends meet already. So this could be a concern for 2022. So this is a concern for me this year, looking at performance in the markets, because when people don't have money, they aren't as willing to invest. Speaking of running out of things, grocery store shelves are starting to empty out. Now, first off, let me just tell you, this is not because of a shortage of food. There is plenty of food to go around, but there are four main factors contributing to this. Number one, Omicron, which, as we can see, Omicron is beginning to fall off. The actual case numbers are beginning to come down. Maybe the surge has ended, but other countries are still shutting things down. So we are seeing some after effects of Omicron. Number two, it's the winter. Winter creates bad travel conditions in an already number three constrained supply chain. You add in constrained supply chain and winter weather, and that is just bad news for grocery store shelves. And number four, a lot of people are eating at home. People have not gone back to just going out to eat as often as they were before. And so that means more ingredients are needed. That means more people are buying food. This is a trend that will continue. As I said, be on the lookout for higher inflation in food. We could see 20 to 30% food increases by the end of this month and by the end of February. So be ready for that. Maybe begin to stock up on some of those supplies. And maybe that is what could be happening. People could be stocking up on those supplies right now while the prices are still low. But this might give you the opportunity to go out and now don't go crazy, don't go emptying the shelves. But if there's certain food items that you really like and they are shelf stable, you might want to look at getting them now, because they could be a lot more expensive in the next month to 2 months. However, I still see positive signs in the market throughout the rest of the year. The volatility is here to stay. Don't think that this is going to be a straight shot up, and don't think it's going to look anything like it did in 2020 or 2021, but things still could be positive throughout the rest of 2022. I hope you have a great year. I hope wherever you are, the weather's not too bad. Make sure you check back every week to keep updated on what's going on in the economy, what's going on in markets. Give me ideas in the comments down below for ideas for future videos. Subscribe if you want to be notified, and I will see you next week.